Hello, it's Donna Marie, whole life death doula and host of the Best Life of Wellbeing podcast, designed to facilitate best life living by normalizing death, grief, end of life legacy, and whole life conversations that transform the way we live in the world. Today, I want to talk about my lunar practice. I want to share it with you. And on January 21st, I'm hosting an event where I'll talk all about my lunar practice and how it's changed my life, how it has helped me to gain peace within. And at the end of life, that is the one thing that's so important, is to have internal peace. And this lunar practice of mine, this ritual, and it's actually a meditation practice, but it can be designed to utilize in any way that serves you. The most important part of it is to create time for stillness for yourself. You can do it with your children, you can do it with your spouse, but create a time of stillness and then create the practice to help you calm your nervous system, to dissipate the anxiety, to learn about how your brain works so that you know the stories you're creating. Normalizing death, grief, end of life, and legacy conversations really can help to transform the way we live in the world in a peaceful and a more intentional and a more empathetic way. One day, I went out for a meditation walk and I noticed the moon. And so I feel like at that moment, that night, I was introduced to the moon. Something happened that night. We met. We became intimate. And from that day forward, I have been seeking ways to create more of a lunar practice for myself. I have joined people in community virtually for meditations during the full moon, goal setting, and analyzing my life throughout the moon cycle, but also at the new moon, going into that dark place during the new moon. This winter was really a dark time for me during the new moon, and I felt it energetically, I felt it emotionally. And because I knew it was a new moon, I also knew to get still and to sit in that dark place, to feel what I was feeling, to breathe deeply, to give thanks, and to really just analyze and pay attention to what I was going through and what I was feeling at that time. So what I'd like to do is share my step-by-step practice, lunar practice, in hopes that it helps you as well. My well-being practice is the lunar practice, following the cycles of the moon, to calm my nervous system, to be well within, to not allow things that are outside of me, things that are distracting me, things that are happening in the world, and things I'm telling myself with my thoughts, and because I have trained my brain to see things a certain way, and that way I have practiced my whole life. Advice my dad gave to me a long time ago was to take inventory of my life. It's a phrase he left with me. It's a phrase I'm going to continue utilizing to encourage myself and others to take inventory of life, and following the moon cycles helps me to do exactly that. I know when to sit down. I have a focus when I sit down. I know how I'm feeling. I know how to analyze those feelings, and it doesn't have to take a long time to do it. It doesn't have to take a practice in a community to do it even, but practicing with others is so powerful and so vulnerable. And we need more of that vulnerability in order to connect with ourselves more. We need to be vulnerable with other people. So on January 21st at 6 p.m., I will be hosting an event to talk about the steps I've taken to incorporate this ritual into my life. And the reason to join is if you're interested in calming your own nervous system, if you're interested in being well from within, and how we can create a community together. But for all of us, a well-being community where the focus is on being well within. I'll tell you, at the end of your life, the one thing you will want more than anything is to be well within. And the only way to manage that is to control our mind and to create practices and rituals that support what it is we want. So if you're interested in learning to be well within and learning about the practice I utilize to help me be well within, assessing, analyzing, taking inventory. If you want to hear more, join me on Sunday, January 21st at 6 p.m. The link is in the bio. I will also say the full moon is on January 25th. And so this session on the 21st is to prepare for the full moon, the first full moon of 2024 on January 25th. I hope to see you here drinking from one of my mugs, enjoying a hot beverage. I've decided to start utilizing all of the mugs I have, not letting them just sit in the cabinet.